welcome to another bite-sized VO radio show. My name's Andrew Peters, and up in Sydney
is Robbo. How you going?
I'm good. And you?
Packing boxes.
Yes, I've heard about your move.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
Yeah, it's going okay. We're moving house, moving property, and I guess I thought would be a good topic for today's show is the joys of moving the home studio, that little baby that you've sunk X amount of thousands of dollars into to get just right, and then having the joy of having to start all over again. So surrounding me at the moment are the bare necessities, to be honest with you, is the laptop, the Pro Tools box, and the Mac Pro. So yeah, bare necessities in this room at the moment.
I've done it myself. I did it for the move down here. It wasn't planned. I'd built the studio in my last house. It was, perfect, working a treat. And then we bought this house and decided to move, of course. So I had to start all over again. But the switch over, because of having clients, you got that period where you've got to get everything out of that one and then drop it into the next one. So I was down here with a builder building this one, still using the other one back in the other house in the city.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, everything's ready to go. All the cabling was in. And because I couldn't bring my engineer mate with me, because it was a bit of a long drive and he didn't have a day to waste, I just had to take photographs of, because I have no idea what patching and stuff. I just had to take photographs of where all the leads went on my mobile phone and chucked everything in the car, came down and then just got my screen up and just looked at the screen and went, oh, the blue plug goes into that one.
Well, I'm very lucky in that respect, and I must send a big cheerio out to a gentleman called Terry Fogg who built my studio because everything is religiously labelled and clearly labelled. So pulling down and setting up even more so is a bit of a breeze. But I guess the issue for me is because I use this studio so often, I have a 2-day turnaround in which to get it unplugged and pulled apart here and moved over and installed into the new place. So I can finish work on a Friday and start work on a Monday. So that's my personal drama and my personal drama to bear. But I was thinking about all those people out there like us who do make a living from their home studio. And, the first thing that enters your mind when you're moving house is, oh, Jesus, the studio.
Yeah, that's right.
If I'm yet to come up with a solution, there's obviously not one, but I guess for me it will be bare essentials here for the next week until I move, and then bare essentials on the other end for another week while we rebuild everything else around it, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's probably easier for you in the sense that because you don't do the voice, it's not so critical that you have an isolated booth or something to work from, so you can still work with cans if you have to or whatever. Yeah,
that's right. I'll be mixing in headphones for a good month or so until I get everything else sorted out. The nice thing I was saying to you is I actually don't have a dedicated voice booth here, but the place I'm moving to has a doorway that goes under the stairs right next door to where the studio will be. So there's the custom-made voice booth, and some Oralex for the walls has already been ordered. So that'll be nice. So there are some advantages to moving. It's just the nightmare in between.
I remember Nick Tate when we were talking to him. His booth is under his stairs in his house in LA, and which is great, except when the dog decides to run up and down the stairs during the session.
Yes, in my case, it might be the 3-year-old rather than the dog because the dog stays outside. But that'll probably be the drama, I'm guessing. But hey, for the amount of times I use a voice booth, it won't be the end of the world.
No, that's true. I must admit, I have to admit this, when I did build the new one down here, I'd spent so long with the one in the other house, had the thing absolutely perfected. There was no leakage of sound. It was actually pretty well 99% soundproof. And we were on a flight path as well, so, it was critical to have to be.
Yes.
Couldn't hear anything. It was fantastic. So I'd learned all this stuff and I worked with mates and we built this thing. And then for some peculiar reason, and I don't know what I was thinking, when I built the booth in this one, instead of doing an airlock and 2 double doors and then a double or triple glazed window to look out of, I thought, no, I've got a great idea. I'm going to get a double glazed patio door and use that because I've seen it in a couple of places in Melbourne. It does actually leak low frequencies, which is driving me completely and utterly bonkers.
Yeah, right.
So, but I did see there's a guy called George Whittam, who our American listeners will know very well. He's a techie guy, builds studios for various talent and stuff. He's got a music background, audio engineering background, and I did see on one of his videos he built a studio in LA for a talent, and it was a ground up job from the slab right the way up. fantastic space. And that was also under a flight path. But I noticed when you went in, because the whole building itself was soundproofed, but the doors going in were two of the same doors that I've got here. I've only got one, but he had airlocked between the two. And that was actually cutting out any external noise. It was soundproof.
Everything. Yeah.
So I've actually made contact with George, and I hope he does get back to me, because I'd like to get him on the show and talk to him about that, because when I saw that, I thought, how does he make that work? Maybe if I put another set of double glazed doors with an airlock between these ones, that would do the trick. Because I know the sound is coming in from nowhere else, because it's sitting on a rubber base. It's touching no other wall. It's the classic room within a room. So it has to be that door. And if it is that door, how did he do it?
But let's be honest, the only extraneous sounds that you get in yours is surfing seagulls. So I'm not quite sure what your problem is.
Yeah, that's right. The odd penguin that walks up for a feed, that kind of stuff. But no, that's that horrible low frequency thing.
Yeah,
I don't like it. It's like you can't hear anything now. But if I get a truck in fact, mainly going past here are tourist coaches full of high school kids going for a surf.
Yeah.
And it's that, that truck, that low frequency, what would that be, 100 hertz or something?
Yeah, maybe a little more, maybe 150, 200, but yeah, down that way somewhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can just, I can hear it.
Yeah. Luckily,
it's not strong enough to get through the actual voice take, but in the silent patches you can hear it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
which I'm sure is not a major issue. I'm sure you would just do like a roll off at some point.
Oh, well, I roll off everything under 150 that's the first thing I do when I'm EQing a voice anyway. So that's not the end of the world. But I was just going to say that's one thing about me moving is I'm actually living on a very busy road here. So that's one thing I won't miss.
It's a drag.
So, yeah. But anyway, there you go.
Yep. Well, good luck with your move. And we'll be chatting from your new premises.
We will next time around. Indeed.
Lovely. Have a good one.
The VO Radio Show is produced in the studios of Voodoo Sound. To polish your next audio production, check us out at voodoo-sound.com. Find professional voices simply all in one place. Realtimecasting.com, including me.